So that brings us up to our 910 item. This is a proclamation. Oh, good. Melissa's here. Good. Presentation of a proclamation honoring Chuck March for his long-standing service and commitment to agriculture in Lake County. And I'll come down. As we all know, Chuck's not able to attend today, but his son John is here on his behalf, and I'm grateful for that. Is there anyone else from your family that's here? Or just no? Okay. Before I read the proclamation about Chuck, when we'd been wanting to do something for Chuck for a long time, and it just the timing really hadn't been appropriate. And then when we read about the new director, and we're excited about that, that's going to be big for Farm Bureau and all of us here. But it seemed like that was an appropriate time then to honor Chuck. And some of you know how I feel about proclamations, and sometimes we have National Right to Hug a Polar Bear Week and different things like that. It really don't mean much. This to me is what proclamation should be about. True honor of somebody that we have a great deal of respect and affection for. When we posted this, the letters started coming in regarding Chuck, and we know how many lives he touched in different organizations, but maybe I'm going to read just a few excerpts from some of these. This is from Bruce Hodenschild from the Northern California Water Association, Sacramento Valley Water Quality Coalition. And one paragraph in here is, he is frank and pragmatic, firm but fair and unyielding in his pursuit of his cause. And as is a redeeming quality in all leaders, he works as hard as anyone and gives credit to others for their contributions, not seeking the spotlight for himself. From the Lake County Fair, another excerpt, this is from Richard Persons. In addition to the other things that he's listed here, he has steadily provided quiet counsel about whatever the latest Lake County Fair crisis of the day is, along with plenty of useful insight into local agricultural community and its current challenges. His influence has been missed over the past year. The University of California. This is from the staff members from UC Cooperative Extension here in Lakeport. Personally, we are deeply grateful for Chuck's support and friendship to all of us at UC Cooperative Extension. He was a founding member of the Board of Directors of the UC Cooperative Extension Lake County Farm, Home, and 4-H Foundation, and remains on the Board of Directors to this day. We know that we will continue to interact, we will continue to interact in the future, albeit in a different context. The Lake County Winery Association. Year after year, Chuck made it a point to include Lake County wines at the annual Lake County Farm Bureau dinner and other Lake County Farm Bureau activities and events, including the Lake County Farm Bureau Red Barn at the Lake County Fair and the first Great Taste of Humor Lake County Farm Bureau fundraising wine event held at Moore Family Winery in 2010. There are many other things that they had in here as well. And I'm missing I have an email here from the chamber. Maybe Melissa, since you're here, you weren't going to be here, so that's why I had it included. I have it there somewhere. There it is right there. Thank you. This is from Melissa Fulton from the Chamber of Commerce. It's Chuck March became a friend of the Lake County Chamber many years ago. All of us have been touched by his compassion, friendship, knowledge, and love of Lake County many times over. He always returned calls, answered hard questions, and helped to seek out information whenever it was requested. And when Congressman Thompson found out that we were going to do this proclamation, he shipped a certificate from him that it's a certificate of special congressional recognition presented to Chuck March in recognition of outstanding and invaluable service to the community, dated April 24, 2012, signed by Mike Thompson. So I'll give that to you, and then I put a box and everything here for it to go. Now on to our proclamation. it is an honor for me to offer this proclamation on behalf of the board. I know all the board members up here feel the same as I do about Chuck. This proclamation honoring Chuck March for his long-standing service and commitment to agriculture in Lake County. Whereas Chuck March has been active in agriculture through his entire life, a fourth-generation farmer who managed the family farm in Potter Valley until the mid-1990s. And whereas Chuck has served Farm Bureau for more than 3 decades as executive director of the Lake County Farm Bureau for 14 years, as director and president of the Mendocino County Farm Bureau, and as a state representative on numerous committees of the California Farm Bureau Federation, including the Futures Committee, Membership Task Force, Membership Strike Force, and Young Farmers and Ranchers Committee. And whereas Chuck has long been a proponent of local agriculture and an authority on many complex issues such as water quality, watersheds, grading, and land use, and whereas Chuck has consistently contributed valuable insight and perspective to elected officials and public agencies advocating for the use of scientific data in policy decisions, emphasizing the intrinsic value of agriculture to Lake County's economy and way of life, and ensuring that the preservation of agriculture land and viability of farming provides guideposts for local decision-making. And whereas Chuck is a respected community leader whose commitment to all facets of Lake County agriculture continues to inspire and motivate others to action, now therefore be it proclaimed that the Lake County Board of Supervisors does hereby honor and commend Chuck March for his many years of service, leadership, and dedication to the Lake County Farm Bureau and the agricultural community, and expresses sincere appreciation for his many contributions to Lake County, passed and adopted this 24th day of April 2012.
I'm Ruth Valenzuela with Assemblyman Wesley Chesbrough's office, and I have a certificate of recognition for Chuck as well from both Senator Noreen Evans and the Assemblyman. And the Assemblyman just asked me to express to you and express it to your dad how much he's really appreciated his dedication over the years. He's been working with him for, I think, all 13 years that he's been in elected office, and he's just been a great force for Lake County, and really appreciate it. Thank you.
John, did you
Yeah, I don't know what to say. My dad really wished he could be here today. He's making great progress. He's actually been able to walk about 30 feet last week on his prosthetic leg, and he was actually able to stand for about 10 minutes on that same leg, which is by far the longest that he's done over the last year and a half. We really wish we could have had him here right now. He's just not strong enough to be in his wheelchair and outside of the rehabilitation facility for this long. But I want to say on behalf of him, thank you. And many of you probably know that he would not feel comfortable accepting this, but and Lord knows he would rather be here fighting issues about whatever's going on in the county than having to sit in a hospital bed. So I want to thank you guys. Thank you, everyone, for
thank you. John, just we have a box here. If we could put that back in there for you. I don't know if there's anybody else that wants to speak. I'm sure the members of the board will. If anybody would like to come up, feel free. Tony?
Yeah, I'll let any members of the public first, Mr. Chair. If there's anybody who would have anything to say.
If anybody wants to come up, just real quick, I remember the first time that I met Chuck. He'll probably remember this too. My kids who were really little at the time were raising sheep at the fair, and there was a new requirement came out that the animal rights activists had imposed and forced the legislature to impose, and that was, Walt will remember this, if the tails were cut too short, they would disqualify the sheep. And so you had to take a pencil and be able to lift the tail with the pencil. And I thought that was the stupidest thing I said, those people do know that in a week these things are going to be on a barbecue pit, don't they? So I just thought that was so weird. That was the first time I met Chuck. He said, you got to pick your battles. So any members of the public? No? Okay, Tony?
Well, Mr. Chair,
I want to add too that Kristen's recording this, and so in essence, we are talking to Chuck, and so I just want to make sure he knows. So be careful what you say.
I better be careful what I say. No, I hope he does get to view this, and going back in my years of service, what was covered in your proclamation, Mr. Chair, that you've read, just his ability to engage in whether it be water quality issues, water issues, the very contentious issue of GMO crops, and that issue, and working as a tireless advocate on behalf of the Farm Bureau and the board that he served, dealing and bringing and approaching us as individuals and collectively dealing with nuisance orchards here in the county. Very active in Williamson Act contracts, just understood it, how they worked, understood it from the state and the Department of Conservation, and here at the local level and working with Rick. Phenomenal in terms of his ability to grasp policy issues and to advocate those issues. Very instrumental in the committee that we worked and formed with Ag element that we incorporated in our general plan and it would be remiss if we didn't touch upon his role in facilitating that and preserving Ag as we see it today. There was a faction that had surfaced of looking at breaking up Ag parcels to 5-acre minimums. And Supervisor Brown and the members of the board, we responded, and Chuck was very involved with that and facilitating that and preserving those 40-acre minimums, which I think is very important for future generations. So it's a footprint that's very huge that he's left in land use issues. The grading ordinances, as mentioned, was very instrumental, involved in that whole process. It was a very long, cumbersome process, but with his leadership, we were able to move forward and to adopt that ordinance and put in a grading ordinance that I think is the envy of many counties. And then on a personal note, just getting email updates, and I know the community at large, that he's an inspiration, his strength and his courage and his perseverance that he has provided and being confronted with some serious health issues. And it's an inspiration for all of us, and any of us that think we're having a bad day can reflect on what he is enduring. And so I just wanted to share those thoughts, and I think about him almost every day. So I appreciate the proclamation and bringing that before the board, Mr. Chair.
Well, and it's funny that you should mention his involvement in all these things. I had the chance to visit with him in January when he was in Kentfield, and now he's in Ukiah, so he's a lot closer if people need to go over there and visit with him, and myself included. But when I visited with him, he's in the bed there, and he's trying to heal up and everything, and he says, if you need any help with this marijuana issue, I have some ideas. So
I'm sure
I
he
had to hit him
does.
up on that. So, Jim?
Well, I had the pleasure of knowing Chuck long before I was in this position, being a rancher and a member of the Farm Bureau. Known Chuck for many years, and the number one thing that I always remembered about him from being a member of the Farm Bureau and a rancher in here is he'd tell it like it is. You might not like what he had to tell you, but he's going to tell it, and it's going to be straight, and he wasn't going to sugarcoat it. He's a man of his word, worked tirelessly. The agriculture industry in this county is greatly benefited from all of his hard work, his depth and breadth of knowledge in all of the subjects. Chuck, we cannot thank you enough for all that you've done. We love you, we appreciate you, and just keep fighting, and we'll be talking to you about some of those marijuana issues very soon. Thanks.
Okay, if there's no member of the public, then we'll go on to the next item and say, Chuck, as Jim said, we love you, and we hope you get to feeling better, and thanks for being a good friend.
Hey, Ron,
Yep.
Can Kristen come in front and take a picture?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So that we can see everybody that's here?
Yeah.
Or video, so we can make side
Yeah.
by
Everybody Great. I was going to give him another wave, but